tells him or tells each one of us that he needs a change. Not that the leader did change, but a change in himself that he could go on leading the group. So, number one, if he refuses to admit his mistake. If the mistake shown to him, he won't accept. Number two, when he begins to blame the problems on people and circumstances rather than actually seeking out what the problem might be. So, it is good that the leader is in right mind, in right thinking, if he doesn't blame the problem or the people or the circumstances. Rather, when the problem exists, he is seeking for the solution. When problem exists, do not blame who is the source of this, who makes this problem. Now the problem is there, present. You find a solution, an answer to the problem. We will be lingering and carrying. We will be lingering and making it long if we blame other people. Number three, if he refuses to listen to the team assembled around him. Maybe suggestions and they wanted to voice. That's number four. Number four, he fights every idea that isn't his own. Thinking his own originality is what must keep the church or the group going on. So, why does the leader does that? Maybe he wants self-glory and selfishness. So he's mentally deranged. And that is a sign that he's mentally deranged. You understand that? If there are suggestions that are good, accept it. If there are suggestions not coming from him, doesn't want to accept it because he will not be glorified, will not be honored. Tama na rin? Is it true in Nigeria? Number five, if he refuses to face reality, meaning the real problem is there, he ignores it. That's the reason why he ignores. Immaturity, idealism, unrealistic. Because reality, when he faces reality, it calls for being brave to face the problem and solve the situation. Number six, he is unwilling to make necessary changes because it would be highly unpopular. Meaning when he makes the changes that is necessary, many would not support it, so it will become unpopular. It is not supported by the people. Nevertheless, if people will not support, but it is right, the leader should go on. So regardless of unpopular vote. Number seven, he tries to listen to what everyone has to say about every situation. This one is playing safe. He wants to compromise with his group. Number eight, he begins to believe God's favor on his life is because how good he is rather than because of how good he is. This also, the leader is not right and mentally deranged. If he thought it's me that God is blessing, the reason is in me. No, the right leader considers that God blesses us not because of what we are and who we are. God blesses because God is good. The reason is in God. Okay? Who you may be thinking, God is blessing me because I'm handsome. God is blessing the group and me because, you know, I'm disciplined. I wake up early. I attend to my duties and schedules. No, it's not. The blessing of the Lord depends upon God's goodness. However, it is good and right, it's okay, but the blessings of the Lord does not depend upon your accomplishment and your ability. God blesses because God is good. Number 9, he believes that he cannot learn anything from a group or churches that are smaller than his. In other words, he is choosy to learn lessons from other groups. If there are groups that are smaller and he belittles them, I cannot learn from them. Now, Solomon is telling us, we can learn even from children as you observe them, the way they behave. Number 10, he abuses staff to accomplish his agenda, his plan, rather than leading them to accomplish God's plan. So, the leader in his right mind should accomplish God's plan. God's plan and the leader's plan should jive together. Dapat nag-iisa. We lost our own will. We copy what God has planned for the group or for us. So, if that exists, when there is God's plan and the leader's plan is coexisting and in conflict, there is a tendency that the leader abuses his staff so that he could accomplish his own plan other than God's plan. Number 11, he fears asking commitment or promises from people because of how he thinks they perceive him. So, how they perceive me. So if I ask you to commit yourself, I'm afraid to do that because I'm conscious of my fault and my weaknesses. You might decide the opposite decision. Number 12, he becomes obsessed with the way things are rather than how they should be. What's the difference? The way things are than how they should be. In other words, the way he should be is what he likes. But when things happening opposite to what he likes, he is so focused to that. He wanted to change. Now, meaning there are things that we like but won't happen, and we cannot have that. Do you know that? There are things you like, it cannot happen. I have to just accept it. There are things that I wish I should have them, but it cannot be. So that's the idea that he becomes obsessed with the way things, because God has a plan also. When things are happening opposite to what we like, and the leader focuses on that and he focuses that he is mentally drained and he did a change. Number 13, he views himself as expert. Kaya I am the leader and the expert here. So he's mentally drained and in some sense. If there are also a leader, what is the positive equivalent of this? The leader recognizes the abilities of his staff, of his members. And so he is like a conductor who you do this because you are good in this. If the leader appoints you because the leader recognizes that you are expert in this line of work. The leader does not only consider himself as expert. If the leader, you know what happened if the leader thinks that he's the expert, he will do it alone. Kuda ba? Kuda. So he's not using his staff. He's not orchestrating them and use them in the different assignments. Number 14. He tries to motivate with fear rather than vision. Oh. How do we motivate by fear? How do you motivate by fear? Salamin mo, bawasan. Or next year there's no promotion for you. I will not give you the best position. I will not make you the dean or the principal. I will make you a janitor. Yeah. I will assign you to the kitchen. That is fear. But rather, a good leader motivates his follower by giving them vision, encouragement, and other the work that should be done. encouraging them, just like for example in the life of Nehemiah, how to go with the plan of the Lord. Number 15, he doesn't seek fresh inspiration from God, and often goes back to what has been done instead of seeking direction for what he never has been done. In other words, he is always looking back to the past victories, to encourage his group. While it is good to leave the victories behind and go on looking for fresh inspiration from the Lord. He is not looking to the, in other words, to the junk food, gani. You're just dependent on the noodles and the canned goods. So those are junk victories of your life. Rather, you look for fresh inspiration that you get and ask from the Lord. Number 16, that's the last. He stops taking risks, becoming obsessed with playing it safe. In other words, the leader is afraid to, shall we loan? Shall we cross over the Jordan River? Rather stay here, it's safe for us to cross the other side of Jordan. We don't know what will happen to us. Maybe there's giant there or lion. So if he's afraid to take the risk, he's just obsessed on playing it safe. Now, our lesson for this morning is leadership requirement. You know this?
Yes.
We will be 2 weeks from now. We will be leading, and so we need to consider the leadership requirements in leading the group. Leader requirements. Are you a leader? That's the first question. Are you a leader?
Yes.
In your class, you're the leader. In your group, you're the leader. In your family, you lead. You lead your husband. Number 1. Leadership requires more than knowledge. There are 7 things leaders today must have, especially today in this new computer world is e-world. We have email. The letter is in E. The money is e-money. Economic. When you, that is why the post office now is experiencing failure because business crackdown sa post office because we have now e-world, email, wala na letter. Now, here are 7 requirements to be a great leader of today. Number 1, you have to be adaptable. Ano sabihin? You adapt, you adjust. So, things change fast these days, real fast, that you must lead a team that responds accordingly. That's what I mean. So, before, we were trained in a different system. Wala pa sa computer. Or kung may computer, there are changes that happens quickly. Yung mga changes. Sa unang computer, ng program-program ng iba. Ngayon, pag lumabas ang Windows, bilisan na, pabilisan. So, you have to be adaptable to the changes of things. Otherwise, when you leave a group, it cannot be of good help to your group if you live without adaptation, without changes. So, meaning the leader, parang narinig ko before sa sowers, sabi beautifully, there are 2 groups daw of person. Are we rounded or are we square? What is a square and what is a round circle? Ang circle, pag dinagay mo, mag-roll siya. Nag-rolls, maka-adjust siya. That's adaptable. I can go with this kind of people. I can join with them. I can join with a group of the children. I can join with the olds. Kaya nga group nga leader nga doon lang sa mga youngs. O kung nga sa olds lang siya, kung sa young siya, I hate them. Their music is rock. So, in other words, ang leader, adaptable because kung saan siya nga grupo, bagay siya, sabi ni Jim. Nagpakibagay. Kung sa women lang siya. Maganda yan siya. Kung mga himan man siya. That's just, it's a joke, but the idea is there. And there's you roll on, roll off. And that's adaptable. Number 2, explanation. Adaptable means ability of an entity or organism to alter itself or its responses to the changes of circumstances or environment. Because environment changes, just like the butterfly. Did you notice that? When the environment is so green, green sila. When the environment becomes violet, violet sila. Or yung mga insects, mga animals, they go with their environment. Nag-camouflage sila so that hindi sila makita masyado. That is adaptation. The leader who does that is a good leader. You will lead well kung may pagbabago, may mga changes of circumstances. That's inevitable change. You cannot do it. It's there. You have to accept it. Sabi ni Reinhold, Lord, teach me to change. Oh, Lord, teach me to accept the things I can change. Courage to do the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference between the two. Things that I can change and things that I can do. So, kahit anong gawin mo, may mga things diyan nga mag-happen, opposite to what you like, you have to accept it. Mamatay siya, 2 years lang. Example na siya, bro. That the point is there. Whatever happens, beyond our control, we have to accept because God has a higher and greater plan. Number 2, you have to be moldable. What's the difference between adaptable and moldable? You must personally change fast too, or you shall be left behind. Naiwan ka. Moldable, i-mold ka sa trend. But you know what? Many times, ang pag-mold, ang ilang beliefs, sa una, baptist siya, sa ulihin, ng Pentecostal na siya. That is not the point here. The outside thing happens, but the inside, which is the foundation of your doctrine, remains. At pinamagal sa next. This doesn't mean you have to change your values, your beliefs, your conviction. These things they stay, but the outside person, your personality, the one that is being molded. That will work against you these days. People would rather be on your team and disagree with you. Some differences or opinions is more acceptable rather than people to think you are whimsical or what you claim to believe is different. This actually is one culture change that can benefit the Christian leaders. So there are cultural changes. Kung for example, you are here in the Philippines, you have a different culture. When you go to America, they have a different culture. Dito sa Philippines, stricto. Bawal ang dilaryo. Ayun ang churches nga, bawal ang dilaryo. Ang punta mo sa Amerika, kahit kung gamit, bakit ganyan ko? Sabi mo man po, kaya malamig. Malamig sa Amerika. So kung hindi ka magdilaryo, kung kapiyat ang Pilipinos, magbistida ka, purog ka. So, na isa ka, moldable things nga pinakonsider. Number 3, you have to embrace team approach. What do you mean by this? Jay, what do you mean by this? The leader, embrace, like accept no. Team approach. Meaning, ano to? Meaning, kanina ang leader kanina nga, siya lang expert. Yun isang meaning, ang leader na nag-think na he's not the only expert in the group, he uses his group as a team. Hindi pa nag-isa, you are not an island. So, when you are leading the group and you are thinking that you are like a director in the orchestra, you do this, you do that, you'll be there and here. That is a team approach. In other words, we win not because of single leader. We win and do the work okay in our work if the members of the team are being tapped, ginagamit sila. They are being used. Not one will feel, what will I do? I don't have a part. So I'm feeling I'm not a member of this group. So a good leader recognizes that each one of his team members has a part to do. And when they do that, they feel become a members, and they feel they have the identity of belonging to the group. So, lang. There are no lone rangers today. Ibig sabihin, no man is an island. Do you believe that? If we are not dependent upon others, so we are here concentrating on the school, who will be the one to plant the food we are eating? The fish, who will catch the fish? So, ano natin sila? Kamimber natin yung mga nagapunta doon sa sea na magkuha ng fish, nagatanim, nagagawa ng bread, so that our work will continue. So while we continue focus on education, there are people who will be doing their work so that he will be able to survive and live. So, no ranger. Next, number 4. You have to consider social responsibility. The leader must consider social responsibility. People want their individual work to make a difference. So, social responsibility, binibigyan sila ng responsibility in the society. They also want the place where they spend their time with their paid or volunteer to make a difference. In other words, you are making an impact in your own place of responsibility. So you consider social responsibility or obligation in doing the work. Number 5, you have to think bigger than today. In other words, the leader has a vision. If the leader will not have a vision, and when I say vision, your vision is not only for this year, 2013. The leader is envisioning up to 2020. Ang mga leader nag-auna. That's why you lead because we are in 2013, but the leader's mind is already thinking 2020. So that is thinking bigger than today. In other words, if you are only, for example, I'll give you an example, no? Ang water natin, ang electricity. Before, ang water din sa Mantinga, pag bukas mo, puso ko presyon. Ngayon, kung gabi, magsabo kasi malakas. Later on, sa nagadami ang mga houses na nag-build dyan sa mountains, maghina ng presyon. Sabi nila, sa 2020, pag hindi tayo magawa ng bagong reservoir ng water, wala na water. Paliit ng kuryente. So, maunang leader is that vision. While water is there and the pressure is still strong, ang leader nagaplano na, nagahukay na siya sa bagong reservoir for water. Because houses are multiplying. Sige, kanto sa mga nanay sa hospital, sige bata, pagdangan po sila magawa sila, mag-asawa, mag-imok sila balay. So, ginabawasan ang presyo sa water sa kuryente. So, that's the idea here. That the leader is envisioning already. He is not stagnant. Sabi sa Manila, ang electricity ay hindi pa daw 25 years from now, mag-brown out na. Ano, nag-start na nga, brown out. Tayo nag-deflate, nagagamay na. Kasi marami na mag-consume sa electricity. Marami ng bahay hindi na patayo. So, kailangan ng makonect, until na ang source magliit na. So, ang leader has that vision. No, nag-vision ko na sa liimang na-expand na ito, mag-integrate, mag-enlarge. That's the meaning of number 5. Number 6, be willing to serve others. So, a good leader requirement is he's willing to serve others. In fact, alam nyo ang leader, what is a leader? A leader is servant. Oh, that's why Jesus washed the feet of the disciples. A leader is a servant, a leader is not. Opposite na, no? Ang servant kapag buwako na siya nagkainis. Wala yung servant na gubuhay ang buhok, pabaho. So mag-serve siya, mag-iagi siya, gagawa niya yung buhok. So, dapat malinis. So, servant. Mauna nga, servant namin na nakabarong mo na siya. Gwapo na yung damit ko para sa ako Gwapo magandang servant na gwapo. Kaya paano yung servant ko, hindi ka matanggap sa kanyang service. So be willing to serve others. People will no longer follow an autocratic leader. Ano yung autocratic ng dictator? Autocratic. Serve lang ba? Kamal na siya. They are less loyal than ever. If you want to remain their leader, you must prove you care for them personally. So, leader is willing to serve you. I'm showing you my care. Nalagaan ko kayo. Kung ang leader na nag-serve sa others, manhid. Then, it says here, trust is more important than having all the answers. So, in other words, when you are willing to serve others, you are creating trust. You are investing trust in their hearts to you as a leader. So, in this situation, when the leader is willing to serve, in other words, mauna ka, sunod ako. Ano na leader? Hindi mo lang siya ipadala doon. You will not be like David, you will stay at home and then you go there. Then something will happen to you. Number 7, the last. 7 na na? 7 na. You have to allow others to receive credit, honors, credit, and assume authority. Be the authority there in a point. So the leader sometimes would, after the service, or after a victorious project, the leader would come up the stage and say, let's give a hand of applause to Anthony because he passed the demo. So that is only an example that if you want to be a good leader, you recognize the achievements and the accomplishments, the work of your member. And at times, you are to delegate authority. I give you the authority, and the authority is transferred to you. Because Jesus received the authority from the Father. So the Father is a good leader because he gives authority to his members. Okay, so these are the 7 leadership requirements of today's generation. Hindi isang 1950s Pag dito 1950s, mabilin ka. O na nga ang mga executives nga wala pa sa computer before. Ano FB? So pag tigulang nila nga hindi sila marunong mag-FB, wala na source of income. So ang mga libro hindi na masyado. Whereas kung nag-keep abreast siya sa system, kahit nasa lugod-lugod na sa bahay, wala kang mag-uulog. So the windows of the world comes your way. So you'll be encouraged. So that's the idea there. Amen?
Amen.
Oh. Explain it in your own words. Christian? You have Christian? Christian, sabihin mo. Assume. Assume it. Accept it. Or